counter Jamarius Burton with Armando Bacot.
And Pitt really had a problem with Bacot in the last game. That's going to be a really difficult matchup for the Pitt inside guys, but that's a problem you have to solve if you're going to handle the Tar Heels.
76-74 was the final on December 30th in Pittsburgh. The Panthers have won 2 straight in the series and 4 of the last 5, and they've won their last 2 meetings at Smith Center. And Jeff Capel III's team wins the tap, and a team that's won 2 straight and 4 of 5 and is 4-1 on the road in the ACC has the ball first. This is Greg Elliott, the transfer from Marquette, and Blake Hinson, the star of Saturday's win against Miami, misses on a long jump shot. Carolina's first chance with R.J. Davis, healthy and back on the floor after that collision with Judah Mintz a week ago last night at the Dome in Central New York. Here is Bacot against Federico. Armando too strong, rebounded inside, and a bounce pass from Black, and then Bacot had it stripped.
Nice hands inside by Federico.
Cummings for Federico. Toes the baseline, threw it away, trying to save it off Bacot. Davis, a pull-up 2. Back rim miss, RJ a second try. And Elliott pulls away the rebound.
Boy, Pitt caught a break there.
Sure did. There's a look at the Panthers starters. Burton with Hinson, Federico, Elliott, and Nelly Cummings, who is from Midland, Pennsylvania, in the Pittsburgh area, transferred in from Colgate.
And here's the matchup, Leaky Black against Jamarius Burton.
Burton off the Federico screen, a kick for a Cummings 3. And Bacot the rebound.
Cummings is a high volume, but a little bit low percentage three-point shooter, Wes.
There's a wraparound and a one-on-one, but Burton looking like he wants to help on Bacot. Digs down, Armando strong and left it short.
That's a nice job by Burton to drop down, Wes, but Federico did a really good job just holding his position.
Almost 2 minutes old, and we're still scoreless in Chapel Hill.
So here's Cummings with a mismatch against Nance. I don't think he wanted to pick up his dribble so quickly.
Yeah, Hinson's got Love defending him.
Yeah, that's the one they're trying to find.
Here's a spot up on Bacot off the window and in for Blake Hinson.
Boy, that's really good patience by Pitt. I didn't think they were ever going to get there, Wes. But Hinson did a really nice job getting position without fouling.
Hinson's had 20 or more in his last 2. He's had 3 games against the ACC of 20 or more, 6 this season. Nance for the lead. 3 ball from the left corner for Pete Nance, who Dan found a groove last Tuesday night at Syracuse with 21 points.
And Pete Nance is a guy who can find a groove, and he doesn't have to be the leading scorer for the Tar Heels. But boy, when he makes that 3, their offense suddenly becomes much more effective.
Look at Black hounding Burton on the possession. And suddenly 10 to shoot for the Panthers. Burton a fall away. Federico tried to keep it alive. Second chance for Pitt. Elliott a 3 ball.
Boy, nothing doing from three-point range for the Panthers early, Wes.
Yeah.
Both teams are in the man-to-man.
Pitt was 9 of 22 last Saturday against Miami. Black misses the 3. Bacot the rebound, and our first foul of the night will be on Greg Elliott. Grad transfer from Detroit, who played at Marquette, his first, and the first on Jeff Capel's Panthers.
You know, I think if you're the Panthers, Wes, you're okay with Leaky Black shooting that long 3, but boy, you got to block out, and it's just really hard because Bacot does such a great job getting in position.
Mike Roberts with a word with Bacot and Federico before the ball was put in play. He's our umpire tonight with Ron Gruber and Pat Driscoll. High-level game in the ACC. We got a high-level whistle. Here is Love on the drive, blocked by Federico off the hip of Caleb Love. It'll be awarded to the Panthers.
And Wes, that's an area where North Carolina has been very successful recently. Love and Davis both have done an outstanding job attacking the basket. Good defense that time to block the shot, but they'll be getting to the free throw line a lot tonight, I suspect.
Yep. Here's Burton, a pull-up on Black. It was short. Leakey did a good job making it a difficult shot. On the drive, Davis, and 1. Dan Hinson trying to make a play in transition against one of the most dangerous guys in the ACC.
This is what we talked about, attacking the basket, and boy, he really goes. And if you're Blake Hinson, I think You have to try to block that shot or get out of the way. You know, that rule is you have to have both feet on the floor facing the dribbler. That's initial guarding position, and you have to have that before your opponent leaves the floor.
So here is R.J. Davis, junior from White Plains, New York, who had just 9 points in what was only his second single-figure game of the year last Tuesday night at the JMA Wireless Dome. Pitt's hit one of his first 6 and trails Carolina 4 here. Cummings against Davis's man-to-man.
This is great defense.
Yep.
And he was trying to get to that screen up high, but he couldn't get there.
Here's Cummings, 9 to shoot. Launches the 3 that's good. Nelly Cummings, a 31% three-point shooter, 28 in ACC play. His first basket of the night.
28's not very good in ACC play, Wes, but he's going to have to make a few tonight, I think.
Caleb Love a deep 3. Well, Love is 3 of 5 at Syracuse from behind the line and draws one up for his first basket here tonight.
Well, Wes, overall, he's not a great three-point shooter, but we know he can get hot and he can be very streaky, and there's carrying the ball, double dribble.
Yep. Burton with the turnover. Carolina an early 4-point lead tonight on it. Practiced on Tuesday, and that was the full green light for the second-year Tar Heel head coach. And you see the Davis improvement.
Wes, and a lot of that has to do with that injured index finger he had on his shooting hand, and he didn't get the tape taken off until after that December 13th game.
Tar Heels by 4. Turned over by Burton as we went to break. 15 to shoot in the Carolina possession. Pitt's capable of switching 1 to 5. Here's Nance with 7 to shoot. Trying to back down Henson here. 4 on the clock. Little running hook. Sure. Pete Nance has got 5. Dad Larry would have liked that move. That was right from his era.
You want to be careful. You don't want to come and double team because Davis is out there. He can shoot the 3. And if you double team, then that might leave Baycott open.
There's a lob, and Federico the tap in.
Wes, that was some play by Federico. I thought that ball was too high.
Yep. Sophomore from Finland, who started at Northern Oklahoma College before coming to Pittsburgh. Boy's got a huge upside.
Baycott's got to handle a little bit more, Wes.
Here's Love. That's another deep 3. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Dan?
Well, Wes, we said he can get hot from out there.
They've doubled the number on the Panthers. Has Carolina here early. Almost 6 minutes gone. Cummings trying to fight for a spot in the paint. Scores on a nice spin. 5 for Nelly Cummings on his second field goal.
Nothing wrong with that defense, Wes. The perimeter defense by North Carolina has been very solid so far.
Here is Love. Nance will gun for 3. Front rim miss. Black tried to tip it out. Love, a heck of a save at the timeline. Deep 3. Front rim miss. That was a heat check from Caleb Love.
Well, Wes, he can recover that ball on the other side of the court because that's a rebound.
Here's Cummings. Foul line. Runner good.
Now, I'm telling you, the Pitt Panthers are really good in the mid-range and with runners. They score 38% of their points in conference play from beyond the arc, but they are very effective, particularly their perimeter guys in the lane area.
4 in a row has cut it to a 3-point Carolina advantage. And now here is Nance working against Henson, just spots up, and the line drive misses.
I'm not sure that early in the shot clock, Wes. You can get that shot anytime.
Here is Burton. Jamarius is scoreless.
So is Baycott.
Comes in averaging just under 18 in conference play. That's 4th in the ACC. Here is Sabandi. Hits Federico with a sharp pass. And then Federico airballed it. Love tried to beat Burton. Tried to get it through to Davis in the corner and knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Carolina.
Wes, the Panthers are not really a team that throws the ball a lot into the low post. So Federico, he's had a couple of tough catches in there, and now One of the Diaz Grahams is coming in.
Guillermo. Where's number 25? We also see Jalen Washington for the first time tonight, and DeMarco Dunn. And Dan, we were talking about Dunn today. His minutes are starting to pick up a little bit.
Well, his minutes are picking up because his productivity is picking up, Wes. He has shown that he is a pretty good offensive player.
Love on the drive, scoop, and score. Caleb Love has got it in the gearbox tonight for Carolina, at least early.
Well, he sure does, Wes, and because he has hit those first couple of threes, you got to get out there and try to pressure him on the perimeter. See, they foul up the screen, and Santos is trying to get close to him because he's worried about the three, and Love just goes right by. And Love, we talked about his quickness, but he's got that strength, Wes. He can get the ball up there. And so North Carolina, again, they can get to the free throw line, and they can score once they get there.
He's got 9, leads all scorers. The Tar Heel lead is 6. Here is Nate Santos, the 21-year-old sophomore from Geneva, Illinois, who's averaging about 7 minutes a game in conference play. Burton left open, and the three spins out.
He can make the three, Wes, and he shoots a pretty good percentage, but that is not the best part of his game.
DeMarco Dunn launches. Nance tried to recover. Sabandi chases it down. Off the Guillermo Diaz screen, and
illegal screen.
A foul called on the illegal screen. That will get us to a break. 8 minutes go. Hubert Davis tells us this afternoon what was different from the first meeting to tonight. We're a better defensive team, Dan.
Well, and they have really been putting the pressure on the perimeter for the Pitt Panthers. We said Pitt doesn't really have a low post kind of guy, and so you can push out on their perimeter players, and that's what we've seen so far early. It's been really difficult for the Panthers to get easy shots. Now, they're a team that can make some tough shots, but it's hard to make a living that way.
Maybe just 1 or 2 clean looks so far for Jeff Capel's team, who trails 6. As we rejoin the live action here at Smith Center with Dan Bonner, Wes Durham, our great crew. Welcome to our coverage tonight. There's a hand check on DeMarco Dunn. That'll be his first. That is 2 now on Carolina. The foul going to break, by the way, was on Caleb Love, who was trying to fight over the Guillermo Diaz Graham screen. So Dunn and Love have picked up fouls in this half-court possession for the Panthers. Sabandi fighting the up and under, and Dunn draws a second. Now Nike Sabandi has got enough of a game, Dan, to make you defend him on the perimeter and also know he's a threat on the drive too.
Wes, he has made over 200 three-point baskets in his career. He's scored almost 1,700 points. This is a guy who can be an offensive factor for the Pitt Panthers and has been in a couple of games.
First of the free throws is good. He's an 88% free throw shooter. By the way, Nike Sabandi went crazy go nuts at Georgia Tech with 22 points. He hit 6 threes that day. He looked like he was going to hit 60 threes at Louisville 2 weeks ago tonight. Seth Trimble has come into the ball game to replace DeMarco Dunn as Sabandi's on the board. He hit 4 threes in the first half at Louisville on 5 possessions 2 weeks ago. And it looked like the world was going to be his stage at Derby City. Here's Love, who's on stage tonight. That one spins out. Caleb hit his first 2. He's missed his last 3. And Cummings dogged defensively by Davis.
That's just what we're talking about.
Yep.
It's hard to run your offense when you got pressure on the ball against you like that.
Yep. There's a kick for Sabandi. Seth Trimble, the freshman, in to guard Nike Sabandi, whose spot-up jumper short.
Really important to prevent the Pitt guys from getting past you. Now, he can't dribble that.
Wow.
Ball went off his own foot.
Right.
Wasn't knocked away. That's that famous Ty Jerome play from the Final Four.
Well called. Here's Love. Now Davis with 10 to shoot. Cummings there defensively. Nance with 6 to shoot. Jalen Washington hanging out. Now Nance is in trouble against Diaz Graham. Fall away. Sure. All the traffic you want, and Pete Nance has got the answers.
Wow. We talk about tough shots. That's some tough shot.
One of those Hubert Davis just folds his arms and goes, okay. 6-point lead for the Heels. Diaz Graham launching. And Trimble had a shot at the rebound. Santos, I think. Is this going to be on?
It's on
Foul
Santos.
is on Santos.
This is just a situation where the shot clock's running down and Nance has to turn around and fire it. I mean, you can't guard him much better than that without fouling him.
Nance will take a break. Baycott has returned. Washington to the bench as well. Leaky Black is back.
So Carolina's built this lead, Wes, and Baycott still hasn't scored a basket.
Yep.
Has only attempted 2 shots.
Armando, by the way, had 22 points, 13 rebounds back on the 30th of December.
He's already got 4 rebounds.
Davis a front rim miss. Black recovers. Second chance for the Tar Heels. Here's Baycott working against Federico. Davis, kick for Love. On the drive, fall away. And a foul will be called on Carolina, and it's on Leaky Black. It'll be his first. It's the 4th on Carolina. Quick reminder, this is game 1 of 2 tonight on ACC Network. We're going to push you about 20 minutes over I-40 to Raleigh. After we're done, Jay Alter, Debbie Antonelli standing by. Florida State and NC State. The Noles have won 5 straight in the series against Kevin Keats's Wolfpack.
That's a really big game for North Carolina State.
Here is Elliott a spot up 2. Greg Elliott's first basket.
Wes, and I think the Pitt Panthers are going to have to make some shots like that. North Carolina is dropping off of the screens, and so they're preventing Pitt from driving into the lane. So that spot-up jumper, I think, is going to be critical for Pitt tonight.
Carolina is shooting 37% from the floor. 3 of their 7 field goals were threes. Love spins out. Baycott tried to keep it alive. Elliott pulls it away.
Wes, there's nothing wrong with shooting the 3, but you got to get the ball to Baycott.
The Bandy. Now Henson, number, who picked up the quick foul early. Elliott on the drive. Blocked by Trimble. Recovered by Baycott. Davis in gear. Flipped it up. No whistle from the baseline official, Pat Driscoll.
I'm not sure there's any contact there, Wes. He was just off balance.
Elliott at the other end rings the bell on a 3.
Wes, and I think that's something we're going to see in this game. If you take a bad shot or a tough shot, that's going to allow your opponent to get out and get an easy one. We've seen it by the Tar Heels, and now we've seen Pitt get a shot like that.
Carolina's gone 2 minutes without a basket. Davis can't find it. Henson the rebound, and a foul will be called on Carolina. And it'll be on Baycott. It'll be his first. It's 5 on the Tar Heels with 8:05 to go.
Wes, we have played 12 minutes in this game, and Armando Baycott has attempted 3 field goals.
Yep. Well, and you and I have talked about Pitt's depth, and everybody's talked about the way guys arrive, right? And a lot of it is geared to what they are offensively. This is a tough, rugged defensive team.
These guys will get after you.
Henson working against Trimble. In the lane, Federico. Now Henson, and offensive foul is going to be called. That'll be number 2 on Blake Henson. 15 foul on Pittsburgh, but Greg Elliott knocked down an open 3 a moment ago. Cut the Carolina lead to 1 in Chapel Hill.
Nardi, Pitt is down there. They're among the last 4 in. Now, if I read it right, they're the first of his last 4 in.
Yep.
Virginia Tech and Wake Forest are under consideration. Both of those teams suffered tough losses last night.
And to your point, NC State on that line. Big one at home, Florida State, because as you say, you can't lose those games, right?
That's
at
correct.
home. And a turnover by Carolina.
Wes, is what we talk about with the net ranking, and your net sometimes isn't nearly as important as your opponent's net.
Right.
And Florida State's net is such that if North Carolina State were to lose that game at home to Florida State, that's a quad 4 loss, and you cannot afford those.
Noles are 200 today in the net. NC State is 40, by the way, with a 7-4 conference mark.
Wes, and this is a strange game. The 2 guys we talked about before the game, Baycott and Burton, haven't scored yet.
Oh, look at Leaky Black on the lockdown of Burton. 5 to shoot. Jamarius trying to tee one up here. Fires over Baycott, and it spins out, and Black gets the rebound.
That's great defense.
Sure is. Here's Nance.
He blocked two.
Yep.
That's
another
two
turnover, and that's
trips.
4 on Carolina.
But the only positive for North Carolina right there is Pitt has to take the ball out of bounds. They don't get to go down and get an easy shot.
1-point lead for Carolina. Don't forget, tomorrow night, doubleheader women's basketball on ACCN. Number 16, Duke welcomes Pitt to Cameron. Then NC State and Georgia Tech from Atlanta. 8 o'clock. Women's basketball on ACCN, always available on the ESPN app. And there is Jamarius Burton's first mark of the night. 15th 3 of the year for the grad student from Charlotte. And Pitt's in front, 21-19. Baycott caught in a double team. He'll call the timeout. Armando was trapped with Burton and Federico.
It's a tough pass, a very difficult pass. When he caught it, he was off balance.
2-point lead for Pitt when we come back to Chapel Hill. Jamarius Burton and Hubert Davis's team, Dan, you want to talk about quad. Their net's 37. 6 wins in quad 1, quad 2 in the Tar Heel dossier, and Baycott misses a layup. Essentially, now he was contested. Burton at the other end got Trimble in the air and can't complete the 3-point play as Trimble draws his first foul, and it is 6 now on Carolina.
The Pitt Panthers are doing a really nice job against Armando Baycott. I mean, even when he gets the ball inside, he's surrounded.
Yep.
And Burton, that's the kind of play he makes. He likes to get in the lane, and when he gives you that pump fake, you've got to stay down.
Yep. So here's Burton, the 7th best free throw shooter in the ACC. And the free throw is good. Remember, we showed you Carolina had 6 wins between quad 1 and quad 2, Dan? Pitt's got 7.
Yeah, they've got 7, Wes, but that one quad 4 loss, whenever you're a team that the metrics don't believe in, and look at that net, this is a team that's like in the middle of the pack in the ACC. That means that the metrics don't believe in the Pitt Panthers, and if that's the case, boy, that quad 1 loss might jump up to bite them. Or that quad 4 loss,
yeah.
Excuse me.
10-0 run by the Panthers as they posted a 4-point margin.
I think the Tar Heels have to try to play through Baycott.
Here's Tyler Nickel, young freshman on the floor at 6'7", for the first time during the dead ball a moment ago. Now Love with 10 to shoot. Squares for 3 on Cummings.
Wes, that was a long 3-point shot, and Cummings allowed him the room to dribble into that.
Burton tries to answer, cannot. Ball got deflected away. Cummings and a new 20 for Pitt. Nelly right back on the mark with a 3.
And he's
10
has
for Cummings.
He has something to say in the game of love.
Second double-figure game in the last 5 for the grad transfer Cummings. And it's a 4-point Pitt lead again. Here is Love. Runner with one hand is short. And last touch by Pitt. It'll stay with Carolina. Well, here's Caleb Love from Roy Williams' signature.
Well, you don't think he's going to pull up from there, but he had all day to shoot that one.
And then Burton to miss, but watch Nelly Cummings square back on the return to get the quick 3 on the board for Coach Capo's club.
And it's very important for Pitt that they have gotten that lift from Cummings.
Black left it short and saved to Nance.
Boy, what a great play by Leaky Black.
And Ron Gruber here, this is a stop because of the shot clock. And Ron Gruber is going to do a quick piece of game management here. We're going to have a look at this.
Well, it appeared to us to be an air ball, Wes.
Right.
But what a job by Black. Whether it was an air ball or not, he went right after it, and I thought that ball was for sure out of bounds.
Ooh. Yeah, that hit the rim on the left side. You see the ball change direction. So, Dan, 2 parts to this. If they determine the ball did hit the rim, right? That's part 1. Second part is now they got to go back to look at the clock and how much expired,
Yes.
right?
But Black, everybody's watching the ball, and nobody blocks out Leaky Black, and he just he's all the way at the free throw line almost, and somehow he makes it to the baseline and saves the ball. So right, Wes, they've now ruled that it hit the rim.
Right.
So the clock's got to reset. So they're going to reset it to 17. I mean, Wes, that is a tremendous job by Ron Groover to recognize that that ball may have hit the rim.
Well, and here's the other piece too. We're way deep into technology on a lot of sports, Dan, and sometimes the technology helps you, and in that case, technology. And now here's another piece of the officiating. The ball was saved out into the midcourt area where they stopped, so now they're going to put the ball in play from the midcourt area.
Well, at the 28-foot line,
right?
Call it.
So,
because that's where the play was stopped. It was out there, and the play was stopped.
So we got the game square with the house.
Absolutely.
Pittsburgh by 4. Nickel, nice pass. Baycott fouled by Diaz-Graham. But Carolina ran something to get the ball to the big fella.
But just a simple screen and roll, Wes, and Baycott set the screen and rolled to the basket. And Pitt tries to get two guys there, but they can't. You know, both Federico left to try to go with the dribbler, and Guillermo Diaz-Graham didn't get down in time.
It was Jorge.
That was Jorge.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Jorge.
Well, there's no excuse for saying you can't tell them apart because they're wearing different numbers. So they look a lot alike to me, though.
Well, they're identical. Thanks. Second one good by Baycott. His first point with 5:05 to play in the game. In the first half, I should say. The Diaz-Grahams from Tenerife and the Canary Islands.
Well, I'm telling you, Cummings and Love are going at it.
Yep. Good matchup there, isn't it? And here's one that is a showcase. Black and Burton. Federico with a nice hard screen to get Burton an alley. Now Diaz-Graham the foul.
Got to do something.
Here is Burton. Clutched it, got into traffic, and traveled. Fourth turnover on the Panthers.
Wes, I don't think you can make a living trying to make plays in the last 2 seconds of the shot clock against Leaky Black. If Carolina can put them in that situation, the Panthers have problems.
Here's Caleb Love. He's got 12 in the ball game. He's been dynamite from behind the line. He'll attack on the dribble. Fall away 2. Short. Baycott got it, put it back up, and he's going to draw a Pittsburgh foul. And it is going to be on Burton, and that's going to be his first, but that's 7 on Pitt.
Wes, the Panthers actually did a really nice job attacking Love off that screen. Federico went, they basically had him double teamed. But then there's nobody to block Baycott out.
First of 2 for Armando. Those are his second points of the night. Don't forget, after a busy night of women's basketball, nothing but net takes over following our doubleheader. Kelsey Riggs hosts with Muffet McGraw, Lexi Brown, and Kelly Graham. We'll look at the night in women's basketball, look ahead to the best games on the weekend, analysis and more. 10 o'clock on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app. Second one hit the rim. Nance recovered it, and Jorge Diaz-Graham blocked it out of bounds.
Now, Wes, what part of the problem for both of the Diaz-Graham brothers is they're a little on the thin side, and so they need to bulk up a little bit. Nance just overpowered him on that rebound.
Jorge's 190 pounds. Guillermo 205. Jorge was the guy who was ranked in the top 100 out of IMG Academy. Guillermo was the much more accomplished amateur player in Spain. He's on their under-20 nationals. There's a bounce pass in traffic. Baycott the catch and score.
And if they called that on Burton, that's 2.
From Federico. Yep, his first. That's 8 on Pitt. Baycott's now got 4 in the game and a chance for 5.
Well, this is just a great job by Davis. Baycott throws the ball back out, but gets closer to the basket, and then Davis gets a passing lane and gets it inside to him, and that's some kind of strength in there. Baycott's going to get the ball that close. He's going to be impossible to stop.
Left the free throw on the front rim, slapped out. R.J. Davis will let it get in the backcourt before he collects. Reset of the shot clock.
And since he recovered it in the backcourt, it resets to 30.
And here is Armando inside of 4 to play. Tyler Nickel on the drive. Back for Davis with 10 to shoot. Cummings defense. Nance a 3. And
Federico fouled it.
Federico against Baycott commits his second. 9 on Pitt. 3:43 is 4 and a chance to complete a 3-point play. And missed on that. Now he's got a 1-and-1 after a foul a moment ago on Federico. Federico got us to the break. Carolina's got 12 offensive rebounds, Dan, but 4 second chance points.
Well, Wes, you can see Carolina 4 of their last 20 field goals, so 12 offensive rebounds is nice. But if you have that many offensive rebounds, that means you've missed a lot of shots. And a couple of those offensive rebounds, Wes, have been off missed free throws.
Yeah.
So North Carolina doing a really good job rebounding off the free throw line.
Baycott's got Carolina's last 6. And the Tar Heels have the lead. 28-26.
North Carolina with some pressure.
And that pass from Sabandi got thrown by its intended receiver. And that was Guillermo Diaz-Graham. He spilled Jorge during the timeout. 5th turnover on Pitt. Tell you what, Tyler Nickel is a guy coming on here late for Coach Davis who can open the floor up with his shooting. Give Baycott perhaps a little more room. Here is Nickel. Catch and shoot 3. Too strong off the back iron. And now Sabandi off to the races in transition. Nicely done.
Wow.
Nike Sabandi with 4.
And that was a break for the Panthers because Baycott got his hand on that ball and Sabandi was able to get to it first. So that's almost like a long outlet pass.
Yep. Under 3 to play.
So Baycott really working hard for position inside.
Here's Davis, spot up. That is a 2. And Sabandi the backside rebound.
Weston, it looked like Baycott was wide open inside.
Yep. So Cummings working off a Diaz-Graham screen. Into traffic around Baycott.
At 6 feet tall, there's very little Cummings is going to be able to do in there.
10 to shoot. Over Baycott.
Oh, what a shot that was.
Nelly Cummings.
Wow.
A dozen for Cummings. He leads Pitt, who's got a 2-point advantage.
Baycott and Diaz-Graham really going at it on the inside now, Wes.
2 minutes to play first half. Here's Nance attacking on the dribble. Jump shot for Pete Nance. He's got 9. That's his 4th field goal.
Boy, he has really had a good half, Wes.
Well, they backed it up. He had 21 at Syracuse 8 days ago. And pretty strong opening 20, but it's a 30-30 game here with 97 seconds to go. Diaz-Graham trying to drive it on Baycott. Got it rejected. 8 to shoot for Pitt. And Caleb Love's going to come back in for Carolina to spell Tyler Nickel.
I'm not sure this is Pitt's best play here. Diaz-Graham trying to drive it to the basket. Baycott was in great position. Moved his feet very well.
5 to shoot. Diaz-Graham squares again. Threw it up on the glass. Baycott the rebound.
Again, Wes, we talked about the lack of strength, and that's what that is.
7 rebounds for Baycott. Here is Love on the drive and a foul on Santos.
And suddenly, Wes, North Carolina, they're attacking the basket. The fouls are starting to pile up for the Panthers.
That is 3 on Nate Santos. And that's 10 on Pitt. That is trouble.
Well, Wes, it is trouble. You know, those offensive rebounds, we were talking about the fact that they hadn't converted very many of them, but it has given them 9 more possessions than Pitt.
Well, Carolina, how about this? A higher free throw rate than 3-point rate, man. This is part of their core now. I mean, we don't get this long into the season. As Love is 2 or 3 at the line, and not this now be a trait of what this basketball team is.
Well, Wes, Baycott's going to go to the line a lot because he handles the ball a lot. He's going to get fouled. But their backcourt guys are really good free throw shooters. So when you have really good free throw shooters, you got to figure out a way to get them to the line.
Foul going to be on
Black.
Leaky Black. It'll be his second. Hubert Davis with a visit with Mike Roberts about it.
Well, Wes, and again, it's a situation where it's much easier to say than do, but you got to stay on your feet when Burton gives you that pump fake. Black was in great position and just got faked off his feet.
Couple of free throws now for Jamarius Burton. 19 points, 10 rebounds against Miami on Saturday.
See, Black is in great position, and he jumps up in the air, and there's not a lot of contact there, Wes, but the rule is basically if by contact you gain an advantage, that's a foul.
Burton's had 4 games with 20 or more against the ACC. He had 31 against Carolina back on the 30th of December. And has both free throws there and 7 first-half points.
Wes, and he does, again, most of his work in the lane and in the mid-range. This has been a very fascinating first half.
Here's Love feeding Nickel. Layup good for Tyler Nickel.
Well, they went to draw a charge and they left Nickel all alone.
7th lead change of this first half. Couple of possessions left in the opening frame. Cummings out of a defensive lock with Baycott and Davis, and then Burton lost it on the drive over the inline out of bounds. And Pat Driscoll originally said Carolina. Ron Groover, upon some litigation for Burton, and now Mike Roberts is awarding Pitt a timeout. Hubert Davis wants to know how it stayed with Pitt, but we will find out in just a moment. 33 seconds. You see the shot clock, game clock differentials. We wind down this first half. It was a bit of a bang-bang play as we went to the break here on the drive by Burton.
Well, of course, who is it who touches the ball last?
It's Burton.
It looks that way.
Yeah. Crowd here's because Pat Driscoll originally awarded Carolina. Ron Groover said no, belongs to Pitt. Panthers have the ball and tend to shoot with Burton on the inbounds. Against Caleb Love. Squares for the 3. And Sandy, the tap follow. What a play.
And he beat Nance to that ball, Wes.
1-point lead for Pitt. 15 seconds. Shot clock's off for the last possession. Here's Love. And it got knocked away. It will stay with Carolina with 4 seconds left.
Now, if you're playing defense here on this underneath out-of-bounds play, you got to watch for the lob. North Carolina
watch
really
for Caleb Love too, don't you?
Yeah, but they really like to throw the lob in this situation.
And looking to see if anybody was going to borrow a timeout. Nope, they're going to play. Davis to put it in. Here's Nance. 2-1, threw it up. Nickel to follow, blocked by Diaz-Graham, and Pitt's going to take a 1-point lead to the locker room. Pretty interesting 20 in Chapel Hill. Off to the ACC Network studios, Jordan Cornette, Dallin Cup.
Have really needed because Pitt's defense has been pretty good, but they haven't been able to convert very many of them.
Carolina 3-3 on the year when they trail at the half. We told you Pitt's 10-2 with the lead. Tar Heels trailed or led by 6 at halftime of the first meeting and lost by 2 as we start half number 2 here in Chapel Hill. And there's Caleb Love with a 3. And that goes bounding away, and there is Cummings.
Well, Love has now attempted 11 shots in the game, Wes, and Baycott has attempted 5. I don't know that that can be a formula for success long-term for the Tar Heels.
Here is Greg Elliott, who had a three-pointer and a regular field goal. Burton, nice pump fake again, but Baycott grabs the rebound. Armando's got 8.
All of them
Rebound.
scored in like his points. He's got 6, Wes,
Yeah.
and all of them scored within a 2-minute span.
Nance in traffic, rattled out for him. Pitt the rebound. A lot like the way the first half started. The second half with a couple of exchanges at either end. Now Elliott. Burton attacks hard on the dribble. Back up against Black. And Elliott.
How did he get that rebound?
Get the rebound. And there's Burton inside scoring for the Panthers. 9 for Jamarius Burton on his second field goal.
Wes, you do not often see someone take a rebound away from Armando Bacot. But not only did Elliott do that, but somehow he stayed in bounds.
Pitt by 3. Love for Nance. Here is Bacot against Federico. Blocked and recovered by the sophomore. And a Bacot foul ensuing behind it. It'll be his second in the first of the half on the Tar Heels.
Well, we talked about North Carolina's offensive rebounding, but Elliott just does a great job to take that ball away from Bacot. And how does Burton maintain his pivot foot in there? I mean, those are two really good but really tough plays by the Panthers. And down here, Wes, you don't often see somebody block Armando Bacot's shot with the ease that Federico just did.
Yep. Here's Cummings. On the drop, back to Federico, who got the roll. Second field goal for the sophomore, born in Egypt, raised in Finland. Federico makes it a 5-point Pitt lead. Largest of the night for the Panthers. Here's Bacot out of a double team and blocked, I believe, out of bounds by Henson. Pitt has done a really nice job, Dan, seemingly being able to connect the double team on Armando Bacot.
Yeah, they have. And Bacot, he's got to recognize when that's coming and find an open teammate.
See inside. There's Armando scoring and drawing the foul.
Wes, and we talked about our stars before the game, and you saw there that very little production, or not nearly as much production from those two guys. But look where Bacot catches this ball, Wes. He's right on top of the basket, and it's almost impossible to stop him once he gets it in there.
8 points for Armando Bacot. He'll go to the line where he is 4 of 6 in the first half. And that one goes bounding away. I said 4 of 6. He was actually 4 of 7. Now making 4 of 8 with the miss there. Henson a catch and shoot 3. And what a box out by Davis. In amongst the big fellas. Here's Love. Clutched on it. Gets it to Nance. Right back to Caleb Love. Shot fake. Out of the left corner, Leaky Black. Left it short. And Bacot's going to be called for the foul on the push inside.
And that really was a push.
Yep. Second on Carolina, third on Armando Bacot.
Wes, that was great ball movement by North Carolina, but you really don't want to end up with Leaky Black taking that long three.
Black just a 33% field goal shooter in the last 6 games.
Well, in conference play, Wes, he is 6 for 28 coming into the game. Now what?
Now you got the Davis and Cummings, and we got a technical foul.
I think we got a technical foul on both of them.
And Elliott came running down the floor. And Blake Henson's trying to get his teammates. Burton also helping out.
Wes, we talked earlier about what was going on with Cummings and the North Carolina guards.
So you see Cummings, and Davis is trying to get positioned to defend the inbounds. Double technicals have been called on Davis and Cummings.
Well, there's a lot of lobbying going on here. Jamarius Burton is having a long conversation with Pat Driscoll.
Okay, so Davis gets his first, third on Carolina. Cummings his first, second on Pitt. Try and keep our paperwork straight here, right?
Cummings he's saying he's innocent.
As we all do.
Yes, well, can't admit guilt.
Here's Burton, Carolina putting up a little backcourt pressure. Diaz-Graham.
Remember, Henson has those 2 personal fouls, and he's only got 1 basket tonight.
Yeah. And he's been the shooting star, quite frankly, for Pittsburgh here as of late. Here's Cummings on the drive. Davis is going to know a travel call before the foul by Mike Roberts.
I mean, that's quite a battle, Wes.
Jeff Capel pounds the scores table. He thought Ron Gruber was getting ready to call the foul on Davis, and Roberts called the travel.
I think he was getting ready to call the foul on Davis.
17.
That's why you have 3 officials out here so they can see what's going on.
7 turnovers on Pitt. Here's Love. Back for Nance. In for Baycott. Diaz-Graham the foul. That is Guillermo's first. And 3 on Pittsburgh.
Well, Diaz-Graham went to help on the screen, Wes, and then it's a scramble trying to get back to Baycott. And Baycott does a great job in those situations, getting great position.
Davis at 3. Baycott tears down the rebound, and last touch by Pitt.
I mean, Wes, there's 4 Pitt guys there, and Baycott is the one who comes down with the ball. The Panthers fortunate to knock it away.
Here's the inbounds for Baycott.
You got to be smart if you're a player now, because the officials are looking for trouble.
Nance at 3. Baycott the tap, tried to get his own rebound, finally got it. Now Black somehow out of the fray with his first basket.
Yes, and again, I think it's the lack of strength by Diaz-Graham. He had the ball, he just couldn't hold it.
And Carolina trying to turn up the volume in the building and on the floor. Pitt by a basket. And a point. Burton against Nance. Here's Henson. And a foul called on a hand check, I believe, against Leaky Black. It'll be his 3rd and the 4th on Carolina in the second half. Now, a little note about Pittsburgh. You don't want to just go pell-mell to the Panthers at the free throw line. They're 6 of 6 tonight, and Dan, they're number 2 in ACC play at almost 80% as a team. It's a pretty good free throw shooting.
There's another
Jeff
foul
Capel's
on Leaky Black.
And that is 4 on Black.
And again, Wes, this is what I was just talking about. The officials are going to call a little tighter because everybody was getting chippy.
Yep. So that's 4 on Black, and here comes DeMarco Dunn off the bench of second-year head coach Hubert Davis. And Leaky Black to the bench with 16:05 to play as Henson misses the 3. R.J. Davis, the one-man fast break.
I think they called a foul as well.
Cummings will be ticketed with his second. 4 on Pitt. Carolina back in front thanks to the one-man break. That's that time of year again, Dan.
Yes, it is.
First of 2. As our old friend Tim Brando used to say, the Battle of the Blues, Dan. R.J. Davis at the line to try and cap a 3-point trip here. Got 5 in the ball game. And the ACC's best free throw shooter just missed for the 12th time this year. Stays a 1-point Carolina game.
Wes Henson has made 13 3-point baskets in his last 2 games coming into this one. He hadn't made one tonight.
Here's Burton working on Dunn.
This is a hard assignment for Dunn.
Burton into the traffic and will draw the foul from DeMarco Dunn. That's 3 on Dunn. Remember, Black's on the bench with 4. That is 6 on Carolina.
Now the fans are upset here because after the foul was called on Dunn, Burton pushes off a little bit. The foul was already called.
Shot clock to 20 and Sabandi off the reset. And Henson was coming off a screen and
Guillermo was throwing him the ball.
Sure was.
When you're coming off a screen, you got to expect that the ball is coming to you.
Turnover. Pitt. 8 in the ball game for the Panthers.
Yes, we've had 24 fouls in this game.
Yep. Here is Love on the drive. Strong take. Caleb Love 15. On his 5th field goal.
That's really a nice job by Caleb Love. Struggling from the perimeter are the Tar Heels. Take the ball to the basket.
3-point lead now for Carolina. 5 minutes into the second half. Right back to the Burton-Dunn matchup. And Jamarius Burton now with 11 on his third field goal. 4.5 for the grad student from Charlotte, and a Pitt timeout. Carolina lead cut to 1. We step aside in Chapel Hill. Ahead of Pitt.
Well, Wes, he really did a nice job. He started out scoring from 3. He made 3 three-point baskets in the first half, but he has been driving the ball here recently. And I think that's a very effective strategy for North Carolina. Pitt's got a couple of guys in foul trouble. There you get a look at his numbers. Again, those 3 three-point field goals have been a big help.
Love had only 7 points the first time around in late December against Pitt. Baycott with Henson defending.
Yeah, Panthers have gone with a smaller lineup.
Nance dumps inside for Baycott, double team quickly. Love fires past Elliott on the drive and scores.
And again, he had the opportunity to shoot a 3, but he saw that the Panthers were scrambling around on defense, and he had a lane to the basket, and he took it.
17 now for Love. Carolina lead is 3. Here's Burton with Baycott defending. Now Henson from the corner. And Burton does a good job grabbing the rebound with one hand. Trying to reset on Baycott. And Armando falls and Burton travels.
But Wes, he was tied up with Baycott down on the inside. Now, if he's got him outside, it's probably advantage Burton. And so when Burton got the offensive rebound, he went right back down inside, and he was presented with the same Baycott problem that he couldn't solve.
We've ended up in a lot of one-on-one situations tonight, haven't we?
Well, that's Pitt gives you a lot of one-on-one situations.
Davis can't hit the 3. Baycott, the recovery, draws the foul.
That is the 8th time tonight that Baycott has been fouled, Wes. And we said the Panthers went with a little bit smaller lineup, and they were having a hard time blocking out Baycott with their bigger lineup in there.
Armando will go to the free throw line. He's 4 for 8 tonight. He's got 8 points, 9 rebounds. Of course, he's Carolina's career leader in not only rebounds, but also double-doubles. Did that 10 days ago in a win against NC State in this building. First of 2. And the free throw good. Don't forget our new edition of All Access, the ACC Life. It's terrific now. Premieres Monday night. You'll get an emotional journey with ACC student athletes and administrators from all 15 institutions who went from Montgomery to Selma, Alabama to experience and learn more about the civil rights movement, highlighted by a march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Dallin Cup was on the journey with them. You'll see it Monday night, 7 o'clock on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app.
Well, Wes, I think this is a danger zone for the Pitt Panthers. They're struggling offensively. They're playing the smaller lineup. I think they really need a goal.
Sabandi, here's Elliott. Over the top of Nance. Airballed the 3. Caleb Love. Step away 3. Missed everything.
Nelly Cummings, Wes, he's got 12 points, but he hasn't scored since late in the first half.
Yep. Here's Cummings over Baycott. Ooh, boy, we've seen 3 misses and bad ones at that. And now we've got another whistle post-foul here.
Well, we got all kinds of things going on, Wes. Henson was tangled up on the inside with Davis.
R.J. Davis just picked up his 2nd. It's the 7th on Carolina with 13 minutes to play. And Ron Groover and Mike Roberts and Pat Driscoll are huddling both teams. And this may have had to do with Henson and R.J. Davis below the basket, huh?
That's exactly what it had to do with.
So here is Blake Henson, the 6'7", 235-pound junior from Deltona, Florida. 1-1 and missed it. And Ron Groover has
There's a wet spot.
A wet spot over in front of the Pitt bench. And Elliott will come out of the ball game.
Well, Wes, again, I think this is a danger zone for the Pitt Panthers. Their offense has totally stalled here. And again, they put Federico back in the game, so they're playing with their bigger lineup.
Here's Baycott. Backdoor Nance. And scores. 11 for Pete Nance.
Well, Wes, this is about to get away from Pitt.
With 12:40 to go. 13-2, Tar Heel run. Cummings for three. Cuts the deficit in half.
We just talked about the fact that he hadn't scored in a while, Wes. That was a huge basket. He got himself a lot of room, and he's been very effective from out beyond the arc tonight.
15 for Nelly Cummings. Here's Love. Baycott with Federico defending. Double team there. Trying to get around Sabandi, and Love got into trouble, and a whistle and a foul will be called. And it is on Cummings. It'll be his third. 6 now on the Panthers.
I think we've got now 5 players in this game, Wes. 3 for Pitt and 2 for North Carolina with 3 personal fouls. And Leaky Black has 4 personal fouls. We've had a lot of fouls.
Yes, we have. Nance on a wraparound for Baycott. Nance left alone. Get off the front of the rim. And with 8 minutes gone, second half, Pittsburgh, who got a big Cummings basket, now shoots for the tie, and Nelly Cummings ties the game. He's got 18 now, and 6 in a row by the Panther guard.
That's exactly what they needed. Pitt was in trouble, and Cummings bailed him out.
Nance, quick bounce pass. Baycott against Federico. Rimmed out, Henson the rebound.
Federico continues to do a really good job just getting in the way.
6 in a row. Is Cummings getting 9? He is. 9 in a row for Nelly Cummings. That's his 5th 3 of the night. And Pittsburgh has rolled to a 3-point lead.
5 threes and 5 attempts, Wes. He hadn't missed from out there.
And all of a sudden, Carolina's got to be back on the attack. Baycott skips for Dunn. That's a 2, and it's good for DeMarco Dunn. And the Tar Heels keep Davis and Dunn in the backcourt here. Pittsburgh has beaten Carolina the last 2 times in this building. They've won 4 of the last 5 in the series and are trying to snap the Tar Heel 12-game home win streak at Smith Center when Carolina's last loss was last February to Pitt. Here's Federico on the dunk off a nice bounce pass. He's got 6, and the lead is 3.
You know, the Panthers, that's something they weren't doing earlier in the year, Wes. They're really trying to throw the ball to Federico on that screen and roll.
Here's Love, a 3-ball. And the rebound, scrambled, Davis with it. And the step back rolls off. 10 minutes to go. Here's Burton. Little ball fake on Baycott, and Jamarius Burton now has got 13, Dan. And Capel's Panthers playing with a ton of confidence now with 9:48 to go and a timeout. 13-2 run by Pitt. And Nelly Cummings at the wheel. My goodness, 5-point lead for Pitt.
Nelly Cummings helped spark them to a 13-2 run of their own. Wes, I missed somehow as the bench reacts. I didn't remember Cummings missing a 3 because it seems he's made everything, but obviously did. He's 5 for 6 with 21 points. And he's made some big baskets.
And maybe more importantly, Carolina's not been able to make a 3 here in the second half in 8 tries.
Well, they're 0 for 8, and Wes, it's very interesting that most of this Pitt run came with Leaky Black on the bench.
Yeah.
With 4 personal fouls. And so I think and he's back in the game now, and I think that's an indication to you of how valuable Black is on defense.
You see during the timeout, Dan mentioned R.J. Davis and the index finger. Well, veteran Carolina trainer Doug Halverson reapplying some of the tape for R.J. Davis in that injury he's had throughout the year. Dunn, Davis, Love. No Baycott on the floor here. Black a three. Left it on the front of the rim.
Again, this is a guy who's 28% in ACC play from 3 points. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
5-point lead for Jeff Capel's team. Inside 9.5 to go in Chapel Hill. Here's Henson. A quiet night from a scoring perspective for Blake Henson. Burton working on Dunn. Soft jumper good.
Burton, Burton, that's a matchup that he has really taken advantage of.
At 15, 8 in the second half. Jamarius Burton is a for sure first-team All-ACC candidate, and he's showing why tonight really at both ends of the floor. Running one-hander by Davis is good.
That's a big basket and a tough basket.
R.J. Davis now with 7, just 4 in the second half. It's a 5-point Pitt lead.
You got to be careful. You'd say, well, why isn't Leaky Black guarding Burton? But Black's got 4 personal fouls.
Burton against Nance, 2-pointer away. Backside rebound, Davis. Trying to find a seam. Here's Black in the corner.
I think Wisely passed it up that time.
Well, Caleb Love's the guy who's had, what, the hottest hand from the perimeter tonight?
Yes.
Davis, 3 ball away. And Sabandi had a shot at the rebound. Davis raked it out of there. Last touch by the Tar Heels, so Pitt will have it. Dontrez Styles checking in for Carolina, the sophomore at 6'6" from Kinston, who did not play against either Syracuse or Boston College. Got 3 minutes in the NC State victory 10 days ago.
They're looking for somebody to guard Burton.
Yeah. Black will stay on the floor. Baycott stays on the bench there too with better than 8 to play for Coach Davis.
Now you're getting Baycott ready for the stretch run. And Black is matched up against Henson.
And Styles will take his turn against Jamarius Burton.
Good luck.
Here's Burton. Now switched off to Nance. On the drive, right-hand score is good.
Boy, Burton is so good at that when he gets matched up against the bigger guy. He uses that body to create space at the basket.
17 for Jamarius Burton. The Pitt lead is 7 with 7.5 to go.
That's a travel.
A travel called on Carolina. So a turnover on the Tar Heels. That'll be their 6th of the night. Pitt trying to get their 5th ACC road win. Shot the lights out in the first half, led by 17 at the break. They ended up with 5 double-figure scores, 10 of 17 from 3. Mohamedou Gueye, by the way, throw one in at the horn, and the Panthers won 76-67. Now, what happened after that? Well, it changed Carolina's season altogether. They went 11-2, got to the finals in New Orleans against Kansas. Pitt did not win again, was eliminated in the ACC tournament's first round, Dan. Doesn't feel like that kind of Panther team this year in any way, shape, or form, huh?
Absolutely, Wes.
Yeah. They got a 7-point lead, and Burton trying to make it 9, and Baycott back in the lineup after the timeout pulls the rebound away. 10 now for Armando Baycott with 9 points.
It's hard, a little bit harder to shoot it over top of Baycott, and I think Burton felt Black coming behind.
There's Nance trying to get baseline. Jump pass for Black. Carolina has missed all 10 of their threes in the second half. Nance, a little soft turnaround is good. 13 for Pete Nance.
Well, Wes, when you're 0 for 10 for 3, the strategy's simple. Get closer. And that's what Nance did.
Backcourt pressure offered. Black will stay with Burton. Remember, Leaky Black plays with 4 here. Sabandi. Backing down Love. Squeezes up and in for the basket.
The Pitt backcourt, not only Burton, but Sabandi, Elliott, and even Cummings at 6 feet tall. They can worm their way inside.
Love thought about the 3. Runner is good. for Caleb Love on his 7th field goal. 5-point game, under 6 to go. We're early in the second half of the ACC campaign, Dan, but this has got a big-time feel to it tonight.
It really does.
Burton against Black, between Baycott, deflected. Here's Leaky Black for Love. Attacks, feeds Baycott, and the foul. Might not have been the cleanest transition chance, but Carolina's going to get free throws out of it. And we told you this is big, Dan. Pitt's 8-3, a full game behind Virginia. Remember, they lost to Clemson in their only meeting with the Tigers of the regular season. Carolina lost to Pitt, lost to Virginia, and has Clemson a week from Saturday here in Chapel Hill. First one by Baycott, good. 7th foul, by the way, on Pittsburgh with 5:29 to go. Armando with one more to try and cut it to a 3-point Panther lead. Left it short, barely got there. We say all that to say they're playing 20 ACC games, but a sweep of Carolina for Pitt would be like 2.5, it feels like. Cummings and Davis, and a foul will be called on Davis. That's been a thing all night. It's the 3rd on Davis and the 8th on the Tar Heels.
It has been a thing all night. So that's our 6th guy now with 3 fouls in this game. Davis has him by the, it's interesting in there, if that's an inside play, that might actually be a hook and hold because Davis got his left arm underneath Cummings and pulled on.
Yeah. 1-and-1 for Nelly Cummings, and a rare miss. He's 94% at the free throw line. He missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Cummings has got 21 tonight.
That's a big miss on the front end, though, in this kind of a game.
Nance spinning through traffic, tried to get it to Baycott. It got deflected away. Now they're going to go to the deck. Pete tried to keep it. Sabandi's out of there with it. Pitt looking for a transition chance, and Sabandi scores.
Wow. I thought that was a force a little bit by Sabandi, but he was not to be denied. And Leaky Black had to be very careful. Didn't want to pick up the 5th foul.
Nike's got 10. Pitt's lead is back to 6 with 4.5 to go. Federico fronting Baycott, and Love can't get him the ball. 10 to shoot. Here's Davis. Feeds Baycott for the dunk. And one. Federico draws his 4th. 8th on Pitt.
Wes, this is just a great job. You force Federico away from Baycott to try to stop the dribbler, and that allows Baycott to get the ball and go to the basket. That's a great drive and a great pass.
Baycott's got his 62nd career double-double. And the free throw good.
That's a big play.
And now the run by the home teams brought the Partisans back into play, Dan. Henson a 3. Off mark. Davis cleans it up.
Wes, he hadn't been close tonight.
Nope. Nance. Under 4 we go. Baycott. Skip for Black. Here's Love with Sabandi defending. Shakedown and 3 ball. Tied at 61. The guy from the Lou can flat stroke it. He will shoot you in. And he's doing it tonight. It was a 2-point game in late December at the Pitt in front of the Oakland Zoo. And Dan, looks like we're going to the wire tonight at Smith Center.
Boy, it sure does, Wes. And the interesting thing about this game is how each of these teams has responded to adversity. They've both found themselves in trouble, and every time they have, they've been able to respond. So now North Carolina, and Pitt looked like they were pulling away, but now North Carolina has tied the game.
Caleb Love with the Tar Heels' first three of the second half. Henson, Federico, and Cummings, who's been the star tonight. Bounce pass, nice play. Federico, he's got 8 on his 4th field goal. And Pitt back in front with 3:22 to play.
Wes, that's a heck of a thing that coming out of that timeout, throwing the ball to Federico, shows you the kind of confidence the Panthers have in him.
Love.
Ooh, dangerous pass.
Now Davis against Cummings. Step back 3, R.J. Davis. Front rim miss, and Sabandi the rebound.
Sabandi's got 5 defensive rebounds in this game, Wes.
Yeah, he's played great, too. Here's Cummings. Little soft runner, partially blocked Davis. Sabandi recovered, and a foul called. Ron Groover off the baseline on Caleb Love. It'll be his second, 9 on Carolina.
We were just talking about Sabandi's rebounding.
Yep, and the 1-and-1 for Nike Sabandi.
And Wes, in conference play, he's 18 for 19 from the free throw.
Yeah, 88% on the year's 2 for 2 tonight. 2 front ends have been missed here. Cummings at 94%, now Sabandi at 88%.
Those are 2 guys you would want them on the line every time if you could get them there.
They caught off the bounce. Double team coming. Here's Love out of the corner. Nope, missed everything. That ball got knocked away. Burton scoops. And Pitt looking for an alley, and there goes Burton. And that ball got blocked. Jamarius wanted to foul, didn't get it. Here's Love trying to get to the other end. And he lost it over the inline out of bounds and turned right back over to the Panthers.
Burton drives the ball into traffic, Wes, and that's just a really tough play. He had open guys around him, but he was taking it to the goal himself. And you really can't question Burton when he does that.
2 minutes to go. 2-point lead for Pitt. Trying to win their 5th ACC road game of the year. Cummings.
Ooh, that's an offensive foul.
To Davis and gets ticketed for an offensive foul.
Driving to the basket, just steps right into him.
All 4 of Nelly Cummings' fouls in the second half. That one with 1:58 to place the 9th on Pitt. So the next Panther foul is 2 shots on Common.
And so now Cummings is a very valuable player with 4 fouls, just like Leaky Black.
There's Davis. Tried to get it into traffic, and if that's Cummings, that's 5.
It is.
Nelly Cummings in 21 points is going to foul out. It'll be the first time he's fouled out in ACC play and be the second time this season.
Well, Wes, there was a lot of traffic there. And he's the guy who shot Pitt back into this game when they really needed a boost. They were down 6.
3 threes.
And he knocked down those 3 threes. Big part of a 13-2 run.
So free throws for Carolina. And R.J. Davis to the line. Remember, he's 1 of 2 at the stripe tonight. We're talking about the #1 shooter in the ACC, and missed that one.
Cummings has his hand on Davis and pushes him from behind. You know.
Well, they're going to call that one.
That's right in front of the referee. You can see that one easily.
So here's Davis now. And knocks down the back end. 2 for 4 is R.J. Davis. He only has 8 points tonight. 98 seconds to go. Burton and Black squaring off. Now Nance helps with 13 to shoot. Burton in traffic, tried to go back door, got deflected. Here's Sabandi with 5 to shoot. He'll take it on the drive, left it short, Love the rebound.
That's great defense by North Carolina.
Nance thought about the three. Davis will launch. And Baycott the rebound, right back, and a whistle before the shot. Will put Carolina on the line, as I believe Henson draws his fourth.
Armando Baycott's just always there, Wes. You know, you say Baycott on the rebound.
Yeah.
Say that a lot.
2 shots coming for Baycott. He's got 11 rebounds tonight. He is 7 of 13 at the line, though. He's a 69% free throw shooter at ACC play. And the first of the 2 is good. Seventh tie of the night. Carolina in front.
Wes, I think it's important in this situation that Burton doesn't try to do too much himself.
He's got perimeter help with Sabandi and Henson. Here is Henson. On the drive, missed the shot, rebounded by Love. 1-point lead, and a timeout will be asked for by Hubert Davis. Carolina will make it a full with 44.6 left to go.
Wes, 2 key defensive stops for North Carolina.
Well, and Hubert Davis's team has won 4 straight, 6 of 7, and headed to Durham on Saturday, but this is a premium type event right here with a 1-point lead. Carolina will have the ball, but Dan, you've talked about defense tonight, really at both ends for both schools. Tar Heels have had the last stand here in the last 2 possessions.
Well, this is a situation where Burton gets himself trapped inside, and Sabandi's got the ball. This wasn't the last play. This was the one before, and that's just tremendous defense. Right. Burton sometimes holds the ball a long time, so when he can't make a play, the shot clock is running down. And again, that's not a criticism of Burton. He's a guy who makes plays for the Panthers. But that last play I thought was a little bit of a force by Henson. Henson has really had a tough offensive game. He's only scored 2 points and missed all his threes. And I just got the impression he was trying to make a play there and just forced it.
You briefly saw the reset. Pitt would have possession of the ball if it comes to a held ball. Nelly Cummings is fouled out with 21. Love and Nance just under 50% combined for 35 points. Another double-double for Baycott. Carolina, who was lighting it up behind the line in the first half, is just 1 of 14 in the second half. And
well, they've done a great job driving the ball in the second half, Wes. For the game, they have a total of 19 offensive rebounds. So the Panthers really have created a lot of extra opportunities, or excuse me, the Tar Heels have created a lot of extra opportunities. They have attempted 66 shots, and Pitt has only attempted 55.
Carolina on a 9-2 run. Pitt had a 6-point lead with 4:47 to play. And here's R.J. Davis on a ball into the backcourt. They caught with Federico defending out of Pitt's man-to-man. Now Love. Nance right back for Baycott. Double team coming. Armando stepped away, but he traveled. Yep, moved the pivot foot. And with 27.7 left now, Jeff Capel's team.
This double team is really a good one. Baycott, his right foot there is his pivot foot, and he just moves it.
And there's the timeout asked for by Jeff Capel. So for the 3rd straight time, Pitt's going to have a chance to win the ball game in Chapel Hill.
Federico again does a really good job, and Henson comes down with the double team. Baycott, remember that right foot is the pivot foot, and he steps with it. You can't do that.
Right. Well, remember now, Henson was the winner. He provided the game winner on Saturday against Miami. But The core of the Panthers' pride would tell you that Burton's got to be the guy here, right?
Well, Burton's got to be the guy to help create things, Wes. I don't know that he has to be the guy to actually make the play. But keep this in mind. The Pitt Panthers are trailing by a point. So I guess if you want to take the risk and you're on the road and you want to try to get the last shot, but that's not the normal strategy. The normal strategy is to get the first good shot you can get. So if you miss it, you have time to foul and extend the game. But I would expect that Burton is going to be in the center of this, no matter who's the one who takes the shot.
Carolina's got the only timeout remaining in the game. If you're waiting on NC State, Florida State, stand by. Debbie Antonelli, Jay Alter, just down the road a piece at PNC Arena, waiting on the Wolfpack and Seminoles, and they'll join you as soon as we wrap it here. Hinson is 1 of 7 from the floor tonight. Burton is 6 of 18.
Well, you've got Elliott in the game, who's an excellent three-point shooter, although he hasn't played very much. And you've got Nike Sabandi, who is a guy who can score.
And we've also seen the screen and roll for Federico tonight.
Wow. I think that'd
talk about element of surprise.
I think that would be a risky play.
There's the inbound for Burton. Black plays with 4. He'll guard Jamarius Burton.
Oh, they may be trying to take it down, Wes. They are. They're going for the last shot.
Sure are. Elliott with the screen. Here's Burton working against Davis. Into traffic foul with 3.4. And the foul is on R.J. Davis. His 4th. 10 on Carolina with 3.4 left.
And so it's Burton. They clear out for him. They drop everybody down below the free throw line, down along the baseline, and they create a wide open space for him in the middle. And Wes, we said the normal strategy is to take the first good shot so in case you miss, but Jeff Capel said, we're going for the whole thing here. And here they've got Burton for 2.
Jamarius Burton has started his career at Texas Tech and Wichita State from Charlotte. Is 91% in conference play. He is 4 for 4 tonight. First one is good. Game tied. Burton with 11 and a half. And now 18 in the ball game. Carolina does have a timeout left. Free throw good. Pitt in front with 3.4 to go. Nance backcourt to Davis. 2-1. RJ calls a timeout with 0.6 left to go. They broke the timeline, called the timeout. And Pat Driscoll to double check the time here.
Yeah, they're going to look at the clock. Wes, but in that situation, okay, on the top left is your clock, and R.J. Davis calls the timeout. But, Wes, it doesn't matter when he calls the timeout. What matters is when the timeout was granted.
There's Pat Driscoll pointing. Maybe a 10th. Who knows?
That's hard to say. They could put as much as 1 up there, but...
So Pat Driscoll and everybody, they seem comfortable with the 0.6. 0.06 is where it stays. Okay, they've had a look. You're Hubert Davis. What do you got time for here?
Well, you don't have a lot of time, Wes. You have time. Now, remember, if 0.4 is the thing where that gives you a chance to catch the ball. So you have very little time to do anything except catch the ball and shoot it. So you want to get it as close as you can to, like, if Baycott catches it, he's got barely time to turn around and shoot it. I think you're looking for Love or Davis headed toward the basket, though, on a catch and shoot.
Love will put it in play. They're going to throw to Caleb Love from Black. It's blocked by Sabandi, and Pittsburgh has beaten Carolina 65-64. The Panthers win for a 3rd straight time at the Smith Center.
That's all you have time to do, Wes, and Nike Sabandi does a great job getting pressure.
Yep.